Dr. Vandana Gandhi is highly regarded among the business leaders of the Middle East for her reliable and invaluable contributions to the nation. As a dedicated scholar, her commitment to approaching challenges with well-informed strategies has paved the way for her graceful ascent in the business circles of the region. Dr. Vandana, it's a pleasure to have you on our show Z Connect.
Thank you so much, Priya. And it's likewise. I'm so happy to be talking to an audience supporting women.
Absolutely. And we are so eager to know your story on our segment, Her Story.
Thank you. Thank you, Priya. Absolutely.
So let's get started by taking you back to your childhood. I want to understand how you were growing up as a child. What were your interests? What were the activities you were interested in?
So I'm a Dubai, UAE born, brought up girl and a family of 4 children. This was my childhood, always looking at Dubai and Abu Dhabi booming and growing as a kid brought up here. And from there I went on to boarding school, which really shaped me, because I think at the time leaving Dubai's comfort zone of the simple schools that we had, it really helped me to look at how to be independent.
Yeah.
It was for a few years, but it shaped our all-rounder spirit of sports, culture, reading, hobbies, and having a can-do attitude.
Yeah.
So with that business background as a family, then I always wanted to pursue science, and I wanted to do medicine actually at the time.
Oh, okay.
So that's my story, which I'm happy to say that. And then I went on to do mathematics for my graduation, and then I went on to do a bit of MBA, or it was a diploma in business.
Yeah.
And happened to start with Citibank. And
We'll come to that. That's
okay.
the banking career, which of course we will get into. But before that, tell me, is there anything from your childhood that you have carried on with you till date?
I think we are what our inner child tells us and is always a part of our lives. So having come from an entrepreneur business background, and I want to call my father my role model. So he was with me, and we lost him very early in a decade or two before. But as a role model, one of the first few Sindhi businessmen, I would praise the Indian community to have, been part of the history of Dubai in the making, and you're one yourself.
Yes.
So that shaped me as I grew up.
Right. Well, talking about your first job now, you said you went into banking. How did that happen, and then how did the transition happen?
So I mean, as I said, I did my mathematics, and I'm very fond of numbers, and I happened to, start, and I was very proud to say that Citibank has really shaped me. And then I happened to pass by while going to the bank. I remember seeing a place, and entrepreneur blood is inside me from childhood, and that's my inner child. And I see this place for to let, and I said, okay, because I did have kids at the time, and I said, this is a place where I feel population is growing. We want to get good quality childcare for working moms like me.
Yeah.
But I took the plunge, and I said, okay, let's start with a very high paying and a flourishing career. I still said, no, this is my dream, and I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
So we started the British Orchard brand. I remember getting my team from UK and having a concept of the whole brand, the logo, the theme, and of course the systems based from the UK as Ofsted guidelines. Very, very high quality childcare was our ethos, vision, mission chalked out.
Yes.
Along the way, we got a lot of awards and accolades, and even though we're an SME, not a multinational or government, but our philosophies, ethics, ethos around leadership and results were so strong that we received the award from His Highness in Abu Dhabi and Dubai himself.
Wonderful. Tell me, while you were in banking, were there any influences, any people who inspired you, any role models you looked up to who kind of pushed you or encouraged you to make that transition to education?
So I would say that my family was very supportive. My colleagues were very supportive, and as you call, I mean, at the end of the day, the faith in myself, the spiritual background which has been inculcated in me by my parents, that put me through all of it, that we can climb ladders, we can become vice presidents in banks and in corporates.
Yeah.
So that I think took me, I think my family values and background would have instilled in me a lot of strength.
Lovely. You were telling me about the various awards, there are numerous accolades that you have won. Tell me, does that kind of motivate you to push your boundaries?
Absolutely. When I received my first award, which was a surprise for being the first Indian woman to have received the Emirates Women Award. This was exactly, I think, 13 or 14 years back. And I got the ultimate, which is the highest category for business, like women in business and, you know, the leader. UAE Emirates Women Award.
Yeah.
When they announced my name, I'm like, I'm the first expat Indian woman to have received this. And that was a very, very big step. And, you know, it motivated me that, wow, how truthful and equal and diverse this country is.
Yeah.
And that brings back memories. And I remember going up, and I wasn't very aware I'd be winning. So I remember it was Sheikh Ahmed himself, and I was wearing, and true to my tradition and respect for my country, India, I was wearing a little gold and South Indian sari, as you know, the silk.
Yeah.
And then Sheikh Ahmed, because the award was gold, he's saying, "You're matching your dress. Did you know you're getting the award?" I said, "Not at all. I'll run my hair and come otherwise." So that was a joke on stage with Sheikh Ahmed, and it was nice. In Abu Dhabi, we received from Sheikh Ahmed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and then in Sharjah, we received from Sultan Al Qasmi as well. So when we got the award, it spoke a lot for my team, who's my biggest strength, and the hard work that we've invested, and we've really grown in the way.
Yeah. Is there any particular project or initiative that you have led that you are very proud of? So
post-COVID. So COVID was a very dramatic turn in everybody's life, and it's a historical moment for the world. So post that, we all recouped, my team, research and development team, my principals, and we said, let's get on with the new age learning. And we developed a project called Child-Led Learning, which is the latest philosophy in Scandinavian countries and in Europe and UK, with high established nursery chains. So we developed this whole curriculum. It took us 2 years to develop assessment models for it, going around the child, creating projects. For example, when Sultan Al Nayadi went to the went to space, the children were excited, so we made a rocket launch project. Now, while making the rocket, they learned to count. They learn to understand nutrition, because what will Sultan Al Nayadi, what would he have eaten? And saying, no, but I think he would have eaten a sandwich. Maybe he would have done a moonwalk. You know, like when they talk and then they go home and ask their parents. So we did all that. So that's been our best and pet project, you know.
It's amazing to see that children are really able to communicate these kind of emotions. Okay, now on to some personal reflection questions. Tell me one thing that you're most grateful about in life.
I'm grateful about my upbringing with my family, the values that I have received in a very sweet, small country like UAE at the time, which was very cozy and homely, and values on friendship, values on family, because it was always togetherness. And I'm very happy with the spiritual and the value growth that I've received in this country.
Superb. Well, tell me what fashion means to you. You also have a daughter. How old is she?
She's in college. She's finished university now.
So she must be, you know, guiding you in fashion, I'm sure, and telling you what to wear and what not to wear. But personally, what does fashion mean? So
fashion is always very close to every woman's heart. We've been brought up with it, and it's genetic as well. So fashion to me is always something which you feel you look good in the mirror. So I think it's very personal, and it could relate differently at work and differently when you're partying or with family.
True.
It should be for yourself, for the occasion, and for what you feel good at.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Vandana. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Priya. Likewise, you just took me back memory lane, and thank you for coming and bringing me this memory lane happiness.